facts. Nouns that are bisyllabic, that is, that are made up of 2 syllables, are always stressed on the first syllable. Nouns that are bisyllabic, that is, that are made up of 2 syllables, are always stressed on the first syllable. For instance, we have teacher. Teacher. What is stressed is T. Teacher. That is baby. What is stressed is what? Babe. Babe. Nation. What is stressed is what? Is name. All these are what? Are nouns. Export. Export. What is stressed there is what? Is X. Export. Now look at vision. Vision. What is stressed what? Is V. So as a matter of fact, nouns that are bisyllabic words are always stressed on the first syllable. Now, when we talk about verbs, verbs that are bisyllabic are usually stressed on the second syllable. Verbs that are bisyllabic are usually stressed on the second syllable. I want you to note what I have just said. I didn't say always, because you could have some exceptions. That's why I chose my words. I said usually. So that means you can find an exception of nouns that are bisyllabic that are stressed on first syllable. And you can also find exceptions of verbs. So, verbs that are bisyllabic are always stressed on the second syllable. Example of verbs that are bisyllabic, like export, 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 reside, 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 convince, 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 inform, inform, inform. So the stress level is on the second syllable is stress, reside, second syllable, convince, second syllable, inform, second syllable. So as a matter of fact, most verbs that are second syllable, that are 2 syllables, are always stressed on the second syllable. Now let's go to words that are polysyllabic words. Now, I am going to use certain expressions here, which I need to explain. I'm going to use words like ultimate syllable. I'm going to use words like penultimate syllable, and I'm going to use another word like anti-penultimate syllable. Now, by ultimate syllable, I mean the final or the last syllable, and by penultimate syllable, I mean the second from the last syllable. And anti-penultimate syllable, I'm talking about the third from the last syllable. So we are going to be counting from the end. Now, when we want to talk about word stress, whenever we have words ending with the suffixes tion, sion, or ation, as in words such as communication, ovation, information, protection, projection, induction, and so on and so forth. Even in words like what mission, and so on and so forth. Now, the second from the last syllable is stressed. That is the penultimate syllable. We'll count from the end. So here we have 2. So what is stressed there is K. So we pronounce it communication. Now, in the second example, we have ovation. Here we have 3 syllables. And I said, whenever we have a word ending with what? T-I-O-N or A-T-I-O-N, we will stress second from the last syllable. The second syllable here is vague. So that's what is stressed. So we have ovation, In the third example, we have information. Information. The second for the last syllable is made. So it is stressed on the second for the last syllable, which is what? Made. That is information. In the other example, we have protection. We have three syllables there. The second for the last syllable is tech. That is T-E-C. T-E-C. And that's what is stressed. Protection. Protection. In the other one we have projection. In the next one you have induction. Induction. In the last word we have just two syllables, and the first syllable is straight. That is what? Mission. Mission. Now we go to the second one, the second rule of that we have to bear in mind. Now in words ending with suffixes such as double E, suffixes such as E-double-T-E, suffixes such as E-S-E, suffixes such as E-S-Q-U-E, and so on and so forth. For instance, if you look at this example, we have refugee, refugee. You have referee, referee. Here you have cigarette, cigarette. Here you have etiquette. Here you have Togolese, Togolese. Where you have Portuguese, Portuguese. Here you have physique, physique. Technique, technique. Technique, and so on and so forth. Now, it's words ending with these suffixes, the last syllable is stressed. So, in the word like refugee, the last syllable is G, and that is what is stressed. In the word like referee, the last syllable is re, and that is what is stressed. In the word like where you have E-double-T-E, as in cigarette, great, that's what is stressed. Last time here, etiquette, the last time is on etiquette. Then we have Togolese, Togolese, the last syllable is what is lease, that is what is stressed. Portuguese, Portuguese, the last syllable is what is gives. Physique, physique, the last syllable is stick. And we have technique, the last syllable is what? Is nick. Now in such words, the last syllables are stressed. Now we look at the next one, that is number 3. Number 3, we want to consider words ending with the suffix graph. The suffix graph. When you have words ending with the suffix graph, such as what? Telegraph. Telegraph. Photograph. Photograph, paragraph, paragraph, and words such as radiograph, radiograph, and so on and so forth. Now, in these words like telegraph, photograph, paragraph, and radiograph, we stress the first syllable. We stress the first syllable. So when we say telegraph, telegraph, the first syllable is tel, and that's what is stressed. Photograph, photograph, the first syllable is for. Paragraph, paragraph, the first syllable is pa. Radiograph, radiograph, the first syllable is re. So whenever we have word ending with what? Graph, like I've mentioned, photograph, telegraph, radiograph, and so on and so forth, then we are going to stress the first syllable. Now we consider another example. Consider another example. That is number 4. Now when we have polysyllabic words ending with the suffix ate, ate, polysyllabic words ending with the suffix ate, like educate, ruminate, postulate, invigilate, formulate, abrogate, and so on and so forth. We are going to stress third from the last syllable. So whenever we have words ending with what? ATE, that are polysyllabic words, we stress third from the last syllable. Educate. So you count from the end, we have having syllable here. Educate. So what is the first syllable? The first syllable is what? Is air. So that is what is stressed. Ruminate. We have these syllables. The first syllable is ruminate. Postulate. Postulate. How many syllables do you have there? We have 1, 2, and 3. So what is stressed there is what? Is postulate. Now if you look at the next example, invigilate. What is stressed there is vigilate. That is there for the last syllable. Formulate is three syllables. Formulate. What is stressed is what? For. And abrogate. What is stressed is because we have 3 syllables. So whenever we have words ending with what? The suffix ATE, then we stress the third, that's the first syllable, that's third from the last syllable. Now we look at some other examples. Let's consider words ending with the expression able. Let's consider words ending with the expression able, with the suffix able. For example, we have capable, capable, bendable, bendable, teachable, teachable, and so on and so forth. Readable, another example that's readable, something that is readable. We have words like knowledgeable, 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 and so on and so forth. Now, whenever we have such words like this, we stress the third from the last syllable. We stress the third from the last syllable. So, how many syllables we have in the word capable? We have capable. So, what is the third from the last syllable? 1, 2, 3. And that is capable. In the word bendable, we have 3 syllables again. Bendable. Then we have third from the last syllable is what? Bend. That's third from the last. Teachable. We have 3 syllables, and the first syllable is what? Is straight. That's third from the last syllable. Readable. The third from the last syllable is what? Is read. And knowledgeable. 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 If you transcribe that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Knowledgeable. Knowledgeable. So what is straight? Knowledgeable. That's what? Third from the last syllable. That's le. So that is that on what? On word stress. Then let's consider some other example. In words ending with the suffix pi, that's number 6, pic or tic, such as romantic, romantic, romantic. We have photographic, photographic, telepathic, telepathic, sympathetic, sympathetic. What again we have, and so on and so forth. Telegraphic, another telegraphic, telegraphic, and so on and so forth. In such ways, we will stress the third from the last syllable. So in the word romantic, romantic, what is stressed there is what? Ma, that's the second from the last syllable. Photographic, photographic, the second from the last syllable is what? Is gra, and that is stressed. Telepathic, telepathic, the second from the last syllable is what? Is pa, and sympathetic, the second from the last syllable is te. Now, telegraphic, telegraphic, the second from the last syllable is gra. Energetic, energetic, the second from the last syllable is what? Is jet. Alphabetic, alphabetic, you have the second from the last syllable which is there. So in other words, whenever we have words ending with what? The suffixes PHIC and TIC, the second from the last syllable are stressed. Now we go to the 7th and the final rule in this section, We talked about words ending with the suffixes IAL. IAL. Example of such words are proverbial, proverbial, provincial, 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 colloquial, colloquial, colloquial. We have initial, initial, and so on and so forth. In such words of this nature, we stress the second from the last syllable. Proverbial, proverbial, the stress is what is on verb. Provincial, the stress is what is on V. The next one is on colloquial, the stress is what is on pro. And initial, the stress is what is on name. Now that concludes our discussion of word stress. Now quickly we go to rhyme. Rhyme. Now rhyme is simply talking about words that have similar sounds. Words that have similar sounds. Now, we are not looking at the spelling. Some words may have the same spelling or similar spellings, but they are pronounced differently. Words that have similar spellings, but are pronounced differently. But when we talk about rhymes, we are talking about words that have the same pronunciation. The same pronunciation. If you look at a word like coal, coal, coal has the same pronunciation as what as gold, gold. So we can say these two words, they rhyme, they have the same rhyme. Now if you look at words like true, 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 they have the same sound as what as rue, rue, rue. So you can see that they have similar sound. In other words, we are looking at the similar ending sound. They may not have the same initial sound, like in the case of coal and gold. You can see in the case of coal, you have car sound. In the case of gold, you have gas sound. But what you notice that the last sounds here are the same, old. And then you have rue, true, and rue. Like I said, they may not have the same spelling, but we actually focus on what? On the sound, not the spelling. Let's look at some other example. In a word like obtain, obtain. Obtain has the same pronunciation or the same rhyme as maintain, maintain, retain, retain, regain, regain. You can hear the sound N in it. That is what we mean by what? By rhyme. And then when you look at some words too, if you look at words like what? Doubt, doubt. If you look at the spelling of doubt, you have O-U-B-T. D-O-U-B-T. And the pronunciation is what? Is doubt. That means that what? The B is actually what? Silent. So which one has the same sound as what? As doubt. When I have something like what? If you look at that word is pronounced what? Bowed. Bowed. So this is what? Doubt. Bowed. We have the same end sound. Look at this one again. That is what? Rouse. Rouse. The same sound you have there. Even though you have B here, the B is silent. So we can see that these words are what? They have the same rhyme. So whenever you want to ask a question on rhyme, or words that have the same rhyme, you look for the sound. Listen to the sound, not at the spelling. Like I said before, the spelling may be different, but the words will have the same pronunciation. The spelling may be different, but the words will have the same pronunciation. I gave us an example the other time of a word like what? Q-U-A-Y. And I told you that this word is pronounced as what? As key. If I want to ask you that which word has the same rhyme as what? As key, then I can have what? This. The same pronunciation. So they have the same pronunciation, that's a rhyme. Then look at this one again. I told that this time is pronounced what? You. That word is pronounced you. So what word will happen? I will rhyme with that. That will be what? You. So whenever you want to answer a question on rhyme, listen what to the words that have the same similar sound and not the same spelling per se. So that concludes our discussion of rhyme. Now we go to the last one, which is what? Emphatic stress. Emphatic stress. like the name suggests, emphatic stress is used to stress on the information, a particular piece of information or that we want to pass across. In other words, whenever you are given a sentence, now, when I emphasize a particular part of the sentence, that is where my emphasis is actually on. If I say, my brother bought a new car. My brother bought a new car. My brother bought a new car. In other words, my emphasis is on what? On brought. In other words, this is the part of the sentence that I want to focus on. I am not saying that my brother is new. I am not saying that my brother, he bought something. He didn't sell it. So if I have a question like this, did your brother buy a new truck? Now that would be wrong because I am not talking about car. My brother did not buy a new car. I mean a new truck. I said my brother bought a new car. Now, if I have another example, did your sister buy a new car? Remember, the emphasis is not on my brother, but the emphasis is on the word bought. So this cannot be the answer. Remember that there will be a question mark here, question mark there. Did your sister buy a new car? What I said was, my brother bought a new car, not my sister. So the focus was on my brother, so that cannot be the answer. But if I have the option, did your brother sell a new car? The appropriate answer will now be no. My brother bought a new car. You understand what I'm saying? My brother bought a new car. So the right answer here will be what? Will be C. So in emphatic stress, we try to stress a particular part of the sentence where the information is actually focused on. So in this example, like I told you, I am focusing on the fact that my brother bought something. I am not focusing on my brother, and I am not focusing on the car. So the answer is actually what? Did your brother sell a new car? Now this concludes our discussion of oral English. Thank you.